Hello, how are you doing? I'm walking out onto the middle of a frozen lake to do this piece to camera. The piece de la résistance. Vive la résistance. Resistance? Resistance. Hello France, hello Germany, hello just sort of general place called Europe actually. I'm actually talking to you from Sweden, and I'm from England, as you may be able to tell by my unenviable charm and sophisticated voice. Nah. We've all had some history, haven't we? And I mean that, I don't just mean that on a national level, I mean that on a individualistic level, culture level, clan level, family level. Something I heard from Terence McKenna recently that I really liked was something glaringly obvious is that we all have a different past, we're all destined for a different future, and therefore the present must be different for all of us too. So feeling okay is probably the best idea for philosophical pursuits anyway. I mean, if you were to put a goal towards philosophy rather than trying to impose some kind of eschatological end goal, I would say happiness is a state of mind, and if you need it defined, then you will become susceptible to the outside world's influence on you with regards to your own definition of happiness. There's a reason why mob mentality and stuff like that exists, but the fact of the matter is the mob doesn't really exist. It is a collection of individuals that are undergoing a psychological liberation of sorts, because in order to be a mob you don't need to think any further than trusting your gut instinct, it seems. Donald Trump, ISIS, Bernie Sanders, Jeremy Corbyn, David Cameron, Marie Le Pen, the list goes on. Barack Obama, Vladimir Putin, China in general, hello. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominion, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, Brazil. And other countries that you don't know the full-on history about, which is why it's unfair to actually expect people to understand the context by which you come from. Prejudice, when you break the word down, is prejudge, to prejudge, prejudice. You see, respect means to look again, re-inspect. So, being disrespectful means to assume that the other person is motivated by the negative effects that they're having on you, and therefore treating them in an abusive manner, which is justified by your stream of consciousness, the narrative of your experiential life, and the same with the for God's sakes, people, we're on a round world. These arguments ain't going anywhere, you know? We got to stop the fighting. I mean, how many fights are there going on with regards to sort of creating unstable environments for people to be actually physically restricted from making home for themselves? I mean, people need to make home for themselves. That I think that's part of the new paradigm. With regards to the new world order, this is just another one of those eschatological dreams. I think conspiracy theories, right? Conspiracy theories, they're the modern day equivalent of Nietzsche's Zarathustra. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Zarathustra. Thus spake Zarathustra. Zarathustra is this man who came out of a cave after 10 years, having watched nature from an objective point of view. I mean, it's a work of literature, so it's objective. So when you hear that people say that Nietzsche claimed that God is dead, it's actually a line from a literary creation in order to get across a philosophical proposition. You know, he came down from to the village and announced after 10 years in a cave from watching nature from an objective position, and announced God is dead. I've been looking. My opinion should be trusted. And the village people, not the band, the village people, YMCA and all that. No, the people of the village said, well, no, God's very much alive. We have the experiential evidence of, how wonderful everything is, and how, we're tested by things that aren't wonderful and all that sort of stuff. So the world is made of language. Something else Terence McKenna said. I really recommend you get looking at Terence McKenna, actually. Audio files are available at archive.org. He was a magic mushroom philosopher. He believed in an end times kind of thing as well, some kind of eschatological thing. I got the word eschatological from him. Yes, the eschaton. Should look it up, actually. It's an interesting idea. It's this notion that there is an end point. And there may well be an end point to the universe, like there may well be an end point to life. And an end point would be from something becoming nothing. And at the moment, if you're watching this video, you're obviously part of something that has come from nothing. You might become nothing again one day, and you won't know what that's like because there's no you to sense what nothing is like. There's nothing like nothing. So there's nothing wrong with the universe. We're all the sperm that made it. How could there be anything wrong with the universe? You'd need another universe to compare it to. And if you take that in another way, with two people in a room, which one's the mad one? If they're the only two human beings in the entirety of civilization, and one of them comes up with a concept of madness just to describe what's wrong with the other person's brain, what you have is a moral entrepreneurship battle going on, which is what's sort of actually happening on a large scale between our nations and between corporations and stuff like that. Our political system has been bought by cash. It's always needed cash to survive in the first place, so this isn't really brand new news. What I was going to say about the New World Order is that if you just reorder the way that you spell it, or frame it rather, you just call it the newly ordered world, and that spells now, newly ordered world. The New World Order will never arrive, like climate change will never arrive, and evolution will never go, ta-da, finished. That's what it is. It's like we've made enough scientific observations now to prove that things change, and we are in a constant state of change. Our blood moving around, our cells are dying off and new cells are coming in, our brain networks are realigning themselves at all times. There is no point in the universe that is ever identical ever. And that as Douglas Adams so beautifully put it, human beings tend to regard the universe in two unequal parts. There's the Earth and the other bit. There's enough land for everybody to have a good time. There's enough land for everybody to have a home. There's enough land to grow enough food for everybody that's got a home. And there's enough history going on to know for a fact that we don't know enough of history. A lifetime is not enough time to learn all of history in order to accurately know how to calculate the appropriate communications with each other. We can't get there that way. There is an element of trust. I think the religious claim of faith is what that's all about. And with regards to respecting other people's beliefs, I think that simply means you have to believe that they believe what they believe. See, I believe that I believe this, what I'm saying right now, and whether it's the truth or not, I don't really go around thinking that, because my take on the truth is that the closest thing we have to truth is honesty. I mean, the total filterless honesty. And it's very, very easy to come out with complaints about things that we don't want. That's so easy because, we live on a round world. If everybody pointed up, we'd all be pointing to a different place in the universe. If everybody pointed downwards, we'd all be pointing at the centre of the earth. We can all come to an agreement on what is wrong. Coming to an agreement with what is right could be a hell of a lot more fun than this, guys. Stop the fighting.